to pay into the country.
The ones who are coming over here illegally, and some of them I know are coming from some nasty, desperate situations.
They're unwilling to change.
They're still coming in illegally. They're still trying to come in and get around the laws and thumb their nose at civilized society and say, I'm coming there whether you want me to or not. I'm coming there whether you like it or not. You know.
Yeah, you want to help those people.
And that's an insult. That's an insult to all the people who go through all the hoops.
Why don't those same people, I tell you what, to those same people tonight, before you go to bed, leave your doors open. Don't lock them or anything. Just matter of fact, just go ahead and open them up and put you a sign in the yard or something that says, burglars welcome. Come on in and big boy us. Because it's the same principle. Just like Casey was saying, they're wanting to come here, they're going to come whether we like it or not. That your laws mean nothing to me. So I'm just going to come on in your country and take stuff. I'll take what I want. Well, open your house up to a burglar. Let them come in and take what they want. Matter of fact, why don't some of you guys let me come on in your house and take what I want? And matter of fact, while I'm in there, I'm going to need you to help me out. I'm going to need, I'm going to
need to borrow your car.
And I got some medical problems I need you to pay for while I'm there. Take care of my family for me, too, by the way. I got about 5 miles to feed. Think maybe you could hook them up? That would really be great. And I'll just, you ain't going to need this food in your refrigerator. I'll just take all of that. That's what you're wanting me to do. That's what you're asking me to do. To let people come into to my place and force themselves upon me to take care of and feed and clothe. Make sure their little noses ain't running. Forget my family. What do they matter? I mean, God. My family can just go hang. I mean, God, they ain't got that kind of, they ain't got no insurance.
Well, you know what?
We hungry.
We probably need to segue gracefully.
Gracefully?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, gracefully. I'm segueing.
You're segueing?
Yeah. Was that graceful?
Your shoulders are shaking, but that's not the same as a segue.
Oh, my bad. Look, before we get off the air tonight, we've said it a million times. We can't have a show where we don't get to kick MSNBC in the teeth.
And tonight is no different.
Yeah.
And it's even one of our favorites.
Oh, yeah.
And he's a crowd pleaser, too. Because I know out there in the chat, they love him.
They do. This week marks 50 years since Martin Luther King held his I Have a Dream speech.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
There's been no coverage of that.
Yeah, I know, right? The president, he spoke eloquently, laid out just how far they've all come and how much further they have to go. He even said that if Martin Luther King was alive, he would have wanted Obamacare, which I thought that was kind of funny. That was a good one. And, Obama can't give a speech that Chrissy McTinkles, Mr. Chris Matthews himself, is not going to personally cover. Man,
and I think this actually qualifies not only as a graceful segue, but a moment of genius as well. You
know what? I think this might just be our moment of genius for the week because, wow. And wait a minute. While we're segueing here, I'm going to open up another. I've got to open up another piece of audio because it's. I think Chris has plagiarized himself.
No.
I do. I think he did. So first I'm going to play this. This is Chris Matthews on why we still bothering President Obama. Didn't y'all just hear that speech? It was perfect.
Well, this is an example, and this will sound partisan. The hell with it. The speech that the president gave today is an example of why there's no credibility to his right-wing critics. He is a moderate. He is a pro-American guy, a patriotic guy who preaches over and over again unity among the various groups in this country. He never preaches division. He always preaches progress and getting along together and people taking responsibility for their own lives. Today he sounded a bit like Bill Cosby in that regard. Get your act together. He was pushing that. He is everything a white conservative should applaud. Everything about him. Look how he grew up, how he educated himself, how he always did the right thing and stayed clean as a whistle his whole life and raised this beautiful family and did everything great as a father. Everything that the white conservatives say is perfect. And he's perfect by their standards. And still they trash him as some kind of left-wing socialist who somehow doesn't belong in the presidency. That's the rotten deal he's been thrown at for the last 4.5 years. He is everything the white conservatives should have designed and said our perfect African-American president. That's if they ever wanted there to be a black president of the United States. That's if. And that's what you got to wonder about. What does this guy have to do to win the approval of the right-wing white guy out there?
Chris Matthews.
Is that too strong? I'm sorry. It is.
Chris, thank you very much for your comments.
Yes, thank you, Chris, for those comments.
It brings a tear to your eye.
Oh, my God. It made my tingle cry. Come on, man. He's everything that a white person should want. He's everything a white conservative should want out of a president. Really.
But Chris Matthews isn't racist or anything.
He's pro-American? The president pro-American? Really? You think? A president of the United States being pro-American? Really? Now that's an admirable quality, Casey.
I know.
My gosh, he's the first one ever.
It's perfect.
Now, I said before, I think he plagiarized himself that time. Here's I don't exactly have the date on this one, but it was from earlier. I think this is actually from last year. But here we go.
Why do they get the idea, if it isn't ethnic, and I'll just leave the possibility that it's not, why do they just assume evil on the part of Obama? I mean, he's raised his whole life has been crystal clear and clean as a whistle and transparent. We know his whole life through all the great, excellent education he's had, the good working, the pro bono work he's done throughout his life. He's never been a money grubber. He's never done anything wrong in his life, legally, ethically, whatever. His family is picture perfect. The way he's raised those daughters, everything is clean as a whistle. And yet they just referred him as evil. They just referred him as I just got to believe it's ethnic with these people. They just got a problem with this guy being president. Well, is there any other evidence to justify why they keep calling him a bad man? And that's what they do.
He's perfect. He's never even had a speeding ticket. All that pro bono. Hey, I want to know about that pro bono work he did. Was all that pro bono when
all that community organizing was pro bono, man?
That $250,000 he was making, that was pro bono. So that mean he gave his salary back?
That was the pro part.
And it wasn't even a salary, really. Oh my God, Chris, come on, man, come on. I mean, look, I guess he is probably the greatest progressive president in the history of the progressive movement. How about that? Because he's a progressive, all right, and he is. Well, he's their champion. I can give him that. And hey, man, ain't half of him white? Am I missing something? Ain't half the president white?
His mama was a white girl.
You know what? I think you're right. I think Chris Matthews is a racist. He don't like white people.
Well, he just doesn't think white people are too bright.
Apparently. He doesn't have a very high opinion of white folks. Apparently he thinks or at least white conservatives, apparently he thinks we're all bigots.
Well, you can't be a white conservative without being a racist and a bigot, apparently.
Really?
Well, I didn't know. You know, when I joined the club, they didn't tell me that part.
They didn't tell me that part either. You got to be.
When we go to our meetings, they never mention it.
No, it's not part of the secret handshake or anything. I don't.
Oh,
wow.
Chris. Oh, man. What would we do without him, man?
Dude, I don't know.
I mean, the rest of the MSNBC
we would have
crowd,
sad lives.
Well, we like making fun of the rest of the MSNBC crowd, but there's a special place for Chris Matthews, that transcend his MSNBC-ness.
He loves to say how long he's been a journalist. I think he needs to stop talking about when he stopped being a journalist.
Or maybe he needs to, like a lot of his compatriots, they need to actually go and look that definition up again.
There was a time, though, really, when Chris Matthews, he got after Democrats, man. I mean, there really genuinely was a time when Chris Matthews he was just a liberal that was also a journalist. You know what I mean? He used to do his job.
He did.
What happened, man? When did it become okay for, journalists to go, you know what, forget it, I'm partisan? I mean, at least the Fox, I've heard people on Fox News a million times say, I'm not a journalist, I'm a commentator. I'm not a journalist, I'm a show host. I've heard Brian Kilmeade correct a dozen people that way. No, not a journalist. No. I'm a radio show host.
What you're saying is there is integrity out there.
Absolutely. But Chris Matthews ain't got none of it, though.
See,
he missed his.
I wonder, is integrity, is that a zero-sum game? I didn't think so.
Well, I
didn't think so that just because Brian Kilmeade's got a lot of it, Chris Matthews can't have a little.
Yeah, I that's not the way I understood it to be, but seems to be the way it is. That's just the way it is. And you know what else is the way it is?
Yeah, look at the time.
Yep. We have come to the end of the rainbow again.
But we have not reached the end of the bacon.
No, we got some bacon. And you can go, all you got to do is while you're cruising around the website there, just, take a little poke there you ain't even got to visit the sponsors page, really.
No,
They've
just go
baconfreak.com all over the place. Just poke the pig.
You poke the pig, and it will take you to a wonderful place.
Bacon heaven.
Baconfreak.com.
And you know why you need bacon, man?
Because bacon is meat candy.
That's right. Don't forget that. Bacon is meat candy. When you go into work in the morning, make sure you tell your boss, hey, bacon is meat candy.
And maybe, just maybe, for Christmas, your boss will get you some baconfreak.com maple bacon pancake mix.
Well, and don't forget, it also makes, it's like the perfect gift for spouses. I mean, I'm just saying, if you love your spouse, you'd want them to have some baconfreak.com bacon. I didn't know.
That's an accurate statement.
I never knew that there was a such thing as gourmet bacon bits.
But there are, and let me tell you, man.
Dude, you can taste the
put them in
difference.
some mashed potatoes.
Oh, Lord, or some macaroni and cheese. Shut your mouth. That's good stuff.
Or, when you're making the black-eyed peas, throw some of those in there, man. Or pork and beans.
Look.
Come on, man.
I would have never believed there could have been such an animal as gourmet bacon until I tasted some of that for myself. You can really taste it. There's a big difference in bacon, y'all. Big difference.
Taste the gourmet.
Big difference. Baconfreak.com. And while we're on the subject of food, we also have another website another website. It is a website that has been pretty good to Honest Answer Radio. MyFoodStorage.com. Yeah. Dude, in the upcoming hurricane season. It's not really supposed to the hurricane season this year. They're saying